Morning, everybody. Welcome to LOCPod. This is season 15, episode 18, Midwest's Most Dangerous Podcast, coming to you live from the unique IBW Power in Indiana Lake County studios.
Just like plugging along the season. We're just like moving right along.
Yeah.
We have economic development guru Matt Reardon coming in.
Does he still go by that?
Why not?
Okay.
I mean, let's try it.
He
We
is.
can call him whatever we want.
He is a guru.
Our friend Matt Reardon at 219 blah 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 9511. Well, he'll be here.
Yeah.
You can just listen to
Hold
us.
on, Tom added a bunch
Drop
of
the F-bomb
screenshots to the
soon.
note. I gotta get ready.
What
Yeah,
happened?
no shit.
He just
Look at
dropped
Tom.
these
He's
in,
so
like,
busy
last
on his
No,
iPad right now.
I saw something we could talk about, so I threw it in there. God
Your
Your
forbid.
fingers are just
Grindr
tapping
profile?
away.
What's that?
What's your Grindr profile?
Not,
Is
My
it?
Grinder
I
profile?
can't see.
What are you talking about?
Jill's trying to
I'm
find out
trying
what's.
to-
which
No,
is
I'm
going
talking
on.
about
John's
it's a
computer, I
previous
can't see
it's a
anything.
previous guest update. When we have our previous guests do cool shit, we got to update the audience.
I just think it was amazing. Like in the last minute before we got on the air, Tom was just so laser focused on his iPad, and then we all were like, "What just happened?"
Yeah, I added something to talk about because we have one topic in the first segment. I don't know if you guys noticed that. One topic ain't going to cut it. We're going to be like on the air for 5 minutes. So I added something.
We got an early breakfast today. Stay tuned, though, for Matt Reardon. He's going to be on later in the show. He's going to be good. We're going to talk all things about economic development, impact of some statewide decisions and economic development, stuff like that. So should be good. Plus, he'll drop the F-bomb.
Plus, did you guys realize, well, you remember Jack Lencioni? Were you in here for that one, Joe?
Yeah. Yes, I think.
That was the
Golden Bachelor.
The Golden Bachelor, yeah.
With the salmon jacket.
He's a region person, right? I believe Cherville.
Yeah, I think he lives in Cherville now. I think that's right.
So, like, he's a region person. He's a big, well-known person where we live in Northwest Indiana because he's a caterer, does a lot of events, like events that I host, for instance. Excuse me.
Yeah, his family actually kind of took over the business as well. Like, he does it. His son does it.
It's
I know his son.
Lencioni Catering.
Yeah, Lencioni Catering. Yeah.
And they're great, by the way.
And I think they have a bar. I think they own a bar in, or did, like in Linwood, in Illinois, right over the border.
Yeah, I believe you're right. I remember him talking about that.
Yeah,
but he was on the he was a guest on our show 2 seasons ago, probably.
Yeah, via Zoom or Skype.
Because he was on the. Jill, help me out here.
Back on the Skype.
The Golden
days.
Bachelorette, is that? I don't watch TV, so.
Golden Bachelor.
The Golden Bachelor, yeah. What are we
Golden
talking
Bachelorette.
I can't believe that series is still on.
It is.
It's the dumbest shit ever.
Nonetheless, it's still on.
It is still on.
I thought
And
the
10th season.
I thought that the cool
It's like
thing
LOCPod.
about yeah, well, no,
Like,
we're
dude.
15.
It's like LOCPod. It never, like a bad
Our
itch.
seasons are imaginary.
What's the news here, though? He's returning.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
you know, he was on the Golden Bachelor.
Which I thought, by the way,
No, Golden Bachelorette.
no, he was on the Golden Bachelor.
I am.
I'm
It says
reading
Golden
the
Bachelorette.
screenshot.
I agree. It's got to be wrong, though.
No. 'cause
Wait, is
he
this
was the
ChatGPT?
guy. He was
No,
the
this
guy.
is
you're
just a-
right. You're
this is
right.
just a normal
the
Google
women,
search.
the woman was choosing. You're right. It was the Golden Bachelorette. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Golden Bachelorette.
Yeah, you're right,
Good
Tom.
call. So, well, the search was right.
Bachelor Nation Wiki.
So, yeah.
That's
I go to all sources. I go to all sources for the
You
show.
didn't have to go. You just clicked your favorites.
Bachelor Nation Wiki.
Tabbed on his Chrome.
Yeah, Tom, like
Right?
comes
Same.
right up.
Dude, that's what I do for this fucking show. you
Bachelor
know? I'll
Nation
go
Wiki.
to Bachelor Nation Wiki to pull
Also-
cool information for the
You
show.
can see there's a star there for favorites.
Fuck yeah. I go there every goddamn morning. It's the first thing I wake up. I check Bachelor
Tom's
Nation
like, what's
Wiki.
going on Bachelor Nation
Yeah, and
Wiki?
then I said, holy shit, Jack Lencioni. He was a guest on
I
the
know
show.
that guy.
Breaking
So
news.
I brought it to the show. Fuck you.
By
all
the
right?
way, I thought the best part of that interview was when, well, two things. One, he said the camaraderie of all the other senior guys kind of overtook the, like,
Yeah,
kind of the,
they stopped wanting the woman.
They're just like
they
a
were
bunch
like,
of old
hey, man,
guys
you guys
hanging
are cool
out.
fuckers. I'm just going to hang with you, right?
And the fact that he now was walking through the Aldi supermarket in Cherville,
Oh, yeah.
and people were like, Jack, is that you?
They're throwing panties at him and stuff as he's walking through.
85-year-old
Yeah.
The
women's
ones you
pants.
get
They're
at
not
Aldi.
thongs.
They're not thongs anymore.
I don't think so. When do you stop wearing thongs? Jill, help
Chat,
us out
that's
Where
here.
do you start? Uncomfortable.
Chat,
What
when do you
age?
stop wearing thongs?
I don't
What
know.
age?
What
You
age?
know what?
You,
Whenever you want.
Ask ChatGPT.
I don't know. I
Ask
still,
Fluorite. He doesn't like panty lines.
Oh, good point.
yeah, what the fuck was that, by the way?
That's
I'm listening to
Dr.
the show,
Fluorite.
and then like
That's what you wanted.
the whole last segment was about some
That was the
vaginal
sanit-
cover.
That was the sanitized version. You should have heard like the pre-show.
I don't
version of
understand
it.
where this guy where
his
does that
brain,
come from?
man. His brain.
Like, yeah, and he's pitching it like he knows all about it.
He
And it's
does.
like,
It was
dude,
a
like,
friend of his girlfriend.
Right.
Friend of his girlfriend.
I get it. But yeah, usually you would think the women were talking about that, but like 4-8 jumps in the middle of it.
He's a former doctor.
He is no.
He's a current doctor.
He is coming back around to the doctor.
I just
MD.
asked ChatGPT, by the way.
What's that?
What age women stop wearing thongs?
Good. It'll be right.
The answer?
Here's what we have.
Yeah. It's well analyzed. I guarantee you that.
Younger women, like up to 30s, are more likely to wear thongs. Women in their 40s and beyond may shift towards other underwear like briefs, bikinis, or boy shorts.
Or depends.
Boy shorts.
Jesus, Kevin, 40s.
Oh, they said and beyond.
What did you say?
Jesus.
What did he say?
He
I
said
missed-
and depends.
Oh Jesus! God.
And beyond, it says.
Yeah.
And beyond.
I would
That's
say the same thing
saving
about
your-
men. Men in and beyond. Might
Wait,
need
about
to
thongs?
too.
Depends
I
on
do
now,
not.
or
I
what?
do not. I do not.
So Jack Lezzione's going back on
Yeah.
the Golden Bachelorette. No, 10th season of Bachelor in Paradise. He's going back. That means we have to bring him back as a guest.
I'd love to have him on. This time on Zoom, not Skype.
Yep.
He came in. I thought he wasn't in the studio.
No, we had him on TV.
That's right.
Yep.
And then I remember at the time, it was the Golden Bachelorette was pending, and he sort of insinuated he wasn't on the show for a long time, but he couldn't talk about it, right?
Correct.
But I think he was embarrassed about it because it was a week 2 elimination.
Oh.
Yeah. Week
I mean,
2.
I don't know. Week 2 elimination, and he's got all this stuff going on. Not bad for
I know.
week 2 elimination.
I
mean,
know.
I think just getting
But
on
like,
the show is a big deal.
I think if you're on the show,
Just waking up if you're that old's a big deal.
He's not that old.
he's not that old. He's 69.
Jesus.
Shit. It's like fucking 15 years
I
away.
know.
It's like, God damn, Jill.
13 for us.
Yeah,
right?
what the hell?
Yeah, it's got you guys in depends already.
So yeah, I mean, whatever.
But I mean, I think he said even when he interviewed, he was like, yeah, a lot of the interviews were online, and he felt he killed it. Remember? And
Yeah.
then he said, I really felt good about it, and I wasn't that overly surprised when they asked me to come on.
Dude,
but
he's
it
a
was great.
good-looking dude, man. I mean, honestly, I'm looking at like the picture with him in the little flower Hawaiian shirt. I mean, I'm very heterosexual male, but like he's a good-looking dude there.
I think he definitely keeps it together
He's
for
a
his
cute
age.
he's a cute dude. He's a cute old guy, man.
Well, he's probably got an agent
69,
now,
not old,
and-
not old,
Not
like
old?
older gentleman. How about
Older.
that?
Yeah.
Is that like
Right?
you in 10
Yeah, he
years? So
looks
you gonna
good.
have your Hawaiian
Dude,
shirts on?
that is
and,
like a Hawaiian shirt that I would wear.
I know you would.
I think I have one almost exactly like that, funny enough. But like I sort of see some of me in him.
Credit Bachelor
You
Nation
see yourself
Wiki.
in him?
I see myself in
Title.
Shut the fuck up, John.
Title.
I see myself in
I think we should Bachelor Nation
We should
Wiki.
do this pitch, right?
Dude, we piss off everybody
That's
with our
usually
titles.
something
We should just call it season 15, episode 18.
Go F yourself.
We'll never piss off
Everyone.
anybody.
You should find politicians like this, and we should do this on the show. This should be a bit. You should try to find people for like your friends.
What do you
that are
mean?
Politicians that are single, like the.
Oh, for Bachelor Nation.
Oh.
Oh, I love that.
I don't have any politician friends that are single, do I? Justin
Justin
Moed.
Moed.
That's so funny. We're thinking of the
Wow.
same guy, but he's not a elderly gentleman.
No,
he's
he's
a
not.
young
Didn't say
gentleman. He's a great guest, by the way. Why hasn't Representative Justin Moed ever been a guest on our
Got to
show?
get him on. And a
He's-
big deadhead.
He's our deadhead companion too. Justin Moed, you're gonna meet him
Oh.
in September or in
Representative Justin.
August.
Oh, yeah.
Justin Moed will be there. He's
I hope.
he's got overalls. He goes to the show in overalls,
He's got over.
like big overalls, and he usually doesn't have a shirt on underneath.
Does he have like a long thing of wheat that he chews on? Like,
Nope, nope.
No.
He's got overalls, and he's a cool dude, man. Justin's really cool. You'll like him. He's
Maybe he won't be single after that.
Oh
With
no!
Jill
What
in
am I
town.
thinking? No, you know what though? I forgot. Justin does have a significant other.
Oh.
He was traveling with her. I don't know what the relationship status.
Don't
is.
know.
Should we
I don't
be
want to
talking
bust it
about
out.
this?
Let's
Yeah.
talk about it on LOCPod.
Nope.
Blow it
I
up.
don't recall.
Yeah, I don't recall. Yeah,
Kevin.
but Justin's great. Yeah, he's gonna be there with us. We'll get
I
him
hope
on
so.
as a guest.
He's not all the way in yet.
Hey, Kevin, we talk a lot about elections here, and I know New York City just had an election the other day, and everybody's freaking out because the socialist won, right? And
It's crazy.
yeah,
Everyone's and now it's everybody's freaking out, and
the socialist won the primary,
yes, the Democratic primary.
right?
A
But
Democrat-
from what I understand, it's first off. Of course, we have a November election, but everybody's saying Cuomo is going to run again. We can't do that in Indiana. Like
Right.
if you lose a primary, you can't run
Correct.
in general, right?
correct. Not even
But-
as an independent.
Right. Cuomo lost in the primary, and they're saying he could run as another party. He could run for mayor in
Correct.
November, and so allegedly he's going to run again. And then the current mayor, Eric Adams, is going to
yeah.
run as an
Independent. Yeah.
What?
Yes, dude, it's weird. So like and Eric Adams was a Democrat 4 years ago, and then now he's no longer a Democrat. So he's saying I'm running for mayor, re-election, but I'm not a Democrat. I am this new independent.
And
right?
John, actually, Eric Adams Adams was in the primary, then dropped out, which is why he only got 4% in the election.
I didn't realize that.
Whoa.
He dropped out. Why?
He dropped out.
So his
I think because he wanted. He knew he couldn't win. He didn't want to.
Let's rewind. Though.
Yep.
Eric Adams was indicted by Trump's administration.
Biden's administration.
No, Biden.
Biden's administration.
And then he kind of like
and then he made a deal with Trump.
Him.
Then he made a deal with the Trump administration.
Is that over yet, though? I think they
remember,
talked about
Trump
it.
has him on strings, basically. He's like, yeah, if you do the right things over there with immigration, you won't get indicted.
Right.
So now Adams is like, I don't know if that's alleged.
Oh,
I'm
really?
pretty sure we talked about that on the show,
Oh, okay.
which means it's true, of course. Right?
Yeah.
It's talked about all.
Please.
Well,
Yeah, it's like 60 minutes.
There
If
was
we
a
talk about it.
There was a meeting where allegedly Trump made promise. I mean, we don't know, right? Where he made promises to Adams, and all of a sudden Adams' prosecution is kind of on pause.
Right. Right.
It's
It's
not
sort of like
dismissed.
at
It's
the
not
time we were
dismissed or
talking about it, it's
anything.
like Trump is basically holding him on strings, and if Adams does the right thing, he won't get indicted.
So he got out of the Democratic primary.
So
and
now he's read it as an independent,
yes,
which is
in the fall.
interesting, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
win? Does a party mean that much? Like Hammond, I was thinking about this. If I ran as an independent, do you think I'd lose right off the bat, or do you think it'd be a much tougher race? Do you think the party protects me that much? Because
I don't know for
in
like
the Democratic Party,
in a
I'll be
local-
honest
in a
with you,
local.
I don't know where I
election.
stand anymore.
Whoa, this is breaking.
No, it's not breaking. It's just it's a constant evolution. It's like I see where the party's going, and it completely makes me uncomfortable. I think the Democratic Party in Indiana thinks that the answer is let's go further and further to the left. And I'm completely uncomfortable with
I think
that.
if you said that 4 years ago, I'd agree with you. I don't think that's true now. I
Really?
Think
Really?
I think people are waking up.
Kevin, I do not agree
There is
at
a
all.
group. In
Because, like, think
Indiana.
I
about-
do not agree at all.
But I mean, think about here. Think about the last gubernatorial race. It was much more moderate.
Okay.
Even picking
Yeah.
the lieutenant governor.
You're right.
And so I think
But look at the rhetoric that's going on right now. The rhetoric is, especially after
in
New York,
Indianapolis, maybe.
yes. Okay.
Okay,
But
but
like
I'm-
the rhetoric with a significant part of the party that I pay attention to is this is what happened in New York. That's what needs to happen here in Indiana.
Oh,
like
I don't
the
agree with
further
that.
and further to the left you go, the more and more the youth are going to be drawn in, and more likely you're going to win. Yeah, maybe you can win a primary being far, far to the left, but you're never going to win.
I agree with you.
In November.
Totally
That's
agree.
the problem. I want to win in November. That's the party I want to belong to.
Yes,
Okay, I
yes.
don't want to belong to the party that wants to win
In May.
In May.
It doesn't win in November, right?
I want to belong to the party that wants to win in November. So,
I'm
like,
with
if the
you.
Democratic Party doesn't want to win in November anymore, I don't want to be part of the Democratic Party, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they want to win in November anymore. I think they want to win in May.
I think they do. I think there's just a bunch of folks that may be a little misguided as to how to get there, and I don't think it's to go further to the left.
Well, the funny thing is, Kevin, like let's say you had a really complicated route you got from your village to like some point, and then like nobody's done that route in decades, right? But they keep on passing it through generations. This is how you get there. We just don't do it anymore, right? Then one day somebody wants to go on that venture. They have no idea where they're going. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody's done it in years and years. I think that's sort of the problem in the Democratic Party is we haven't won in decades, quite frankly, unless we got a fluke here and there. Like, no offense, Joe Donnelly, but I think most of us agree when you won, it was about the candidate he was running against at the time in 2012.
I think that was a very important point in our party because Joe, it was almost like the tail end of where we still felt we had the ability to win statewide. There wasn't like, for example, like he took off in 2010 and resigned or said he wasn't going to run again in 2010.
Evan Bayh.
And then Joe Donnelly won in 2012.
Right.
Now he was.
Did he win because it was Joe Donnelly, or did he win because he was running against Richard Murdoch?
Both. I think because Murdoch, helped put him over the finish line. Don't forget
I think Joe's great.
Yeah. But
I
I'm just
think he
saying,
won mostly because Murdoch fucked up. That's what I think.
At the end,
that's
I
how
think
I
it put
feel.
him over the
I'm
top.
not trying to be a
no,
dick
I'm
to
not
Joe.
either. I'm just saying
this is how I feel.
But my recollection is it was a tight race, and then Murdoch's
How do you
flub. I kind of remember
But
the
like,
race.
polls aren't accurate.
Well, okay, fine. It was described as a tight race. It wasn't like, oh, Joe's losing 60-40.
Okay.
And then it was tight, and then Murdoch's flub got Joe over the top.
And funny enough, Murdoch's flub at the time, if he does that nowadays, it makes him more popular.
Exactly.
Because at the time, what Murdoch said was, if a woman is raped, he thinks that God wanted her to have that baby. And he basically said that out loud. And at the time, that was not mainstream, and he lost his election over those comments. Fair statement?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now it's policy.
If you say
Right,
that
now-
nowadays, you're like Micah Beckwith could
Joe
say that.
loses.
Nobody would even blush, right? If Micah Beckwith said that, would anybody be surprised? No.
Right. And Joe Donnelly loses then.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the funny thing is how much it's even evolved since 2012.
It was just all changing right then because if you remember, Murdoch beat Lugar in the primary, which was
that's
think
right.
about that.
It's ridiculous.
Richard Lugar,
Right. A statesman, a diplomat.
Yes.
Right. Exactly. So that was a weird year.
It was a weird
So
year.
anyway, we went off on a tangent.
Yes,
because
New
we're
York
talking
City
about
mayor.
New York. So like New York has this thing called ranked choice voting.
Yeah.
And we wanted to talk about that because it's different. It's interesting, and it's the gentleman that won.
Zohran, yeah.
Zohran Mamdani.
Mamdani, yep.
Mamdani won through ranked choice voting. And what that is, it's like, okay, so if I'm running for mayor and Kevin's running for mayor and John and Jill are running for mayor, you have a choice between the four of us for mayor. You're like, okay, ranked choice voting is you rank them. You're like, okay, I want Jill to be the mayor. So she's my first choice. But if Jill doesn't win, I'm going to give my second choice to Tom, my third choice to Vez, and of course my last choice will go to Kevin, right? And then what everybody does is they rank their votes like that, and it's like a contest. So what happens is they say, okay, nobody got 50% of the vote. Okay, so what they do is they drop the bottom person, and they take that bottom person's number 2 choices, and they assign it to the remaining candidates. And if nobody still gets 50%, they eliminate the bottom person next and take their number 2 votes, and they give it to the people. And they keep doing that until the top person gets
50%.
50%.
And then there's no runoff. Yeah.
Right.
And then it avoids runoffs because runoffs are really expensive. This is a way to get somebody in. So right now what happens is Cuomo kind of conceded because it was like 44-33. And I think even with the other ranked choice votes, he was never going to get to 50.
And he's also like, I'm just going to run in November.
Yep.
It's like, all right, I lost this one.
And this kid's 33.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 33 years old, and he's
a socialist.
Democratic socialist is what he calls himself. A lot of like to
Are you
me what
excited
I would
about this?
call
Because there was a lot of excitement in Chicago when Brandon Johnson took over, and he's also I don't know if he's a socialist, but he's extremely progressive.
Yeah, I'm not very excited about this because I think what I would call this candidacy is like it's an idealistic candidacy, not a real candidacy. Like,
I don't think this guy's going to win in November.
I don't know if he is either, and
Really?
I don't know. I mean, I think
No, I don't think he's going to win in November. I think the mayor is probably going to win again. Being honest with you, I think
Adams.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No way.
Really?
I think Cuomo's got a better chance than
don't-
Adams.
Okay.
I think the Republican might win. Who knows?
I think he wins. I think.
Okay.
What's his name?
Sliwa, the Guardian Angels guy.
Well, depending on who you ask, some people are calling him Little Muhammad. This is a congressman?
Dude, this guy is from Tennessee.
Hold on a second. What is
Tennessee. So this is a guy this morning. This is amazing to me
Whoa.
because you want to talk about Islamophobia. Zohran Little Muhammad Mamdani
Unbelievable.
is an anti-Semitic socialist communist who will destroy the great city of New York. He needs to be deported, which is why I am calling for him to be subject of denaturalization proceedings. So basically, the guy's a U.S. citizen, and he's saying, he
That's
lied.
a congressman?
Yeah,
Yeah.
from
that?
Tennessee, from the
What
hills.
an asshole,
Yeah.
man.
Why does he want him to?
Because he said he lied on his naturalization papers.
Oh boy.
Yeah, because he rapped something about saying.
Didn't Elon do that too, or something?
Well, maybe they're
Elon's
looking into
Elon's the wealthiest man in the world.
That's right. Mamdani is not. He's just a guy that has a target on his back now. Yes, so a member of Congress has now decided that calling people Little Muhammad's a good idea.
This may sound crazy, but I've seen some policy from Mamdani.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't so bad to me. It seems very pro-family. Like, have you seen some of his policy?
Yeah, he wants free buses,
free health, free daycare for kids, $30 an hour minimum wage.
Great.
Whoa.
Great.
I mean,
Shuts down all the fast food places right off
Yeah.
the bat. Shuts down all the
or
restaurants
it's
right off.
$15.
The thing
for a
that
burger.
Affordable housing.
The thing, honestly, like I think Brandon Johnson's a horrible mayor in Chicago, and he's super progressive and idealistic, and I just don't think it works when you're a mayor. I just think completely idealistic doesn't work. And,
Yeah, I think once you get in
it's great.
office-
Yes, free buses. That sounds great. $30 an hour. That sounds great. These are all wonderful, stupid ideas, but they're wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that'd be wonderful if we can pay everybody $30 an hour. What would that do to inflation, by the way? And quite frankly, what would that do to New York City? Like if New York City has a $30 minimum wage, guess what? Long Island's not going to follow. And then all the restaurants that are in New York City are going to go to Long Island because they can't afford to be in New York City anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if to me, it's just a little bit idealistic. He's a young guy. I think he's got some good ideas, but I don't know.
He's 33, right?
And the other thing is like, you know how, well, you know this, Tom, when you go to New York City, it's so multicultural, right? And he like kind of hit that. And I think a lot of like people that voted because this guy, is
Reminds me of me.
Yeah. It's just,
Right? I'm an immigrant. My family's immigrants.
Absolutely. So you
Just,
had a lot of people voting.
Agree.
Aiden said it was, Aiden got to vote in this election, and he said it was crazy how much just campaign stuff was all over the place. And he was like, he called me that night. He goes, it's Zohran and Cuomo. That's who, it's one of those two are going to win.
So what's with because on my For You stuff, the Jewish community is like super pissed about Zohran winning. What is that about?
I don't know.
They're like, we don't feel safe in New York anymore.
He had come out in favor of the Palestinian cause, I think, for a while. So I think that's probably why. And Trump said this about Mamdani. He looks terrible. His voice is grating. He's not very smart. He goes, he what does it say? He's got AOC plus three dummies all backing him. And even the great Palestinian senator, crying Chuck Schumer, who's Jewish, is groveling over him. Yes, this is a big time. This is a big moment in the history of our country.
100% communist lunatic.
Yes, that's from our president.
That is
weighing in on the New York City.
What's that, Joe?
Wasn't one of the other candidates Jewish, and he backed this guy?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I believe.
Really? Isn't Cuomo Jewish?
No, it wasn't
Cuomo. Italian.
Cuomo's Italian. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know, man. I think that I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't feel like a guy like me is welcome in the Democratic Party anymore.
Well, New York City is one of the most liberal.
Yeah, I know. I'm just telling you, Kevin. I don't feel like a guy like me is welcome anymore. I'm a meat-eating, normal man. I'm married to a woman.
Cis male.
I'm a cis male. I'm a normal meat eater. And I'm like, I feel like when I came into the Democratic Party, there was U.S. senators and people, normal males that were also Democrats because of, mostly because of demographic reasons, meaning like, I'm a blue collar guy. I want to support blue collar causes. I support the unions. By the way, the unions are gone too. When I got here, the unions were all here and they left too. Mm-hmm. So like, I feel like I walked into a house that was crowded. And now the crowded house is no longer crowded. I'm like looking around like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I think that's what some of Republicans want you to feel like. I don't think that's altogether true. I mean, I think there's still a lot of good moderate Democrats in the party, but I think we got to be careful. Yeah.
Who?
Dick Durbin. I like Dick Durbin
in Indiana.
And then, I didn't know you were talking about Indiana. I think you said the Democratic
I'm in Indiana right now. I feel
you're
like
saying a moderate Democrat in Indiana other than you?
I think that if you're a moderate, Joe Donnelly's no longer in the game. No offense, but is he?
Joe Hogsett?
Hogsett, sure. But look at what's going on there. He's under
attack right now.
He's under attack.
Yeah.
Right? It's like I feel like Democratic Party is not. They don't want white males anymore. They don't want people like me. They want. It's all like special interest causes. Like if you're a part of a cause, like if you're, pro Gaza, welcome to the Democratic Party. If you're pro Israel, we don't welcome you so much. If you're LGBT soldier, welcome to the party, right? If you're not, then what the fuck are you doing here? It's like special causes now. It's not about a standard of living. When I got here, it was about a standard of living.
I agree, and that's what you got to get back to is the kitchen table issues because that's what drives votes.
It's not a standard of living. Now it's like a cause. It's like,
what's the cause of the day?
Right.
And it's like we got to focus because that's the problem is like, this is the cause of the day. 4 years ago, it was like, we better talk about, trans rights or something. Now
the cause of the day for me is
now it's about Palestine.
I want to win in November. That's my cause of the day. Because if the cause of the day is actually successful and we actually win in November, guess what?
You could
hire all your friends that think like you, and then you could all start implementing policy that actually changes this state.
Or have a debate about it.
Right. I mean, but like right now, we just like, we dream and we
and those in power get to do things like build places like Alligator Alcatraz, which we're going to talk about in a little bit.
Okay. So I don't know. What's
Tom,
that, John?
I want to answer your question from 10 minutes ago.
Sure.
If you ran as an independent
in Hammond,
right, would you win or lose?
I would be more vulnerable than I am as a Democrat.
I still think you would win, though.
I think so too.
And I think it would send shockwaves.
You've been in for too long. Yeah,
if I ran as an independent,
it doesn't matter.
No, I think you'd win. But
so you're saying you think I'd win?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think
if I just said I'm not part of a party anymore, because honestly, I don't feel love at all. Right. So if I come out and I'm like, I don't feel like I'm part of any party anymore. I certainly don't belong to the Republican Party, but I'm wondering what the heck is going on with the Democratic Party. Like, I feel like a guy like me is not welcome.
I think if you want to be mayor forever and you want to just run as mayor as an independent, sure, but good luck if you ever wanted to run for anything else, trying to get back in. You couldn't run independent statewide.
You're acting like I'm crazy, though.
No, I'm just. No, I'm not acting like you're crazy.
I'm not trying to be.
I'm not acting like you're crazy.
I think I'm on the front line of something, which I think oftentimes I am. If I went moderate, let's say I'm starting my own party, right? Indiana moderates.
Sure.
I don't think I'd be the last one.
You might not be. No, I don't think you'd be the last one, but I think it'd be hard as the first one out of the gate to win something statewide.
I'm not talking about statewide. I'm saying I start with mayor. I'm going to run as an Indiana moderate as mayor.
Yeah, and then I don't know where the jump goes from there. Like, can you, get a coalition?
How does that work, though? Let's say I was a moderate mayor and I wanted to run for governor in November as a moderate. There's no primary because there's
no, and I don't know. I think you have to get there's a process for getting on the ballot as a third.
But there's a process for getting on the ballot anyway. You have to get signatures all across.
Well,
the
it's
state.
a lot easier for. Yeah, there is. That's right. That's
it's interesting. It's definitely interesting.
Chat, what do you think?
I think I'd lose. I don't know. I think I'd lose as a moderate. I think that a guy like the former chairman of the chairman of the Democratic Party would probably run for mayor, and he'd be like, "I'm a Democrat. This guy's not, and let's beat him. Let's get this moderate out of here."
No,
Yeah.
I think as far as
test the waters.
the mayoral thing, like you've been here so long, people aren't voting on your
Right.
party; they're voting on your
Local
name.
stuff is so non-party anyway. Like,
I agree with you,
people
Kevin.
just identify
I agree
as a
with you.
party.
I totally agree
But
with
it's
you.
not. But it's the reality is like it's about local issues aren't necessarily national. They're almost always they're not nationally political.
Because in Highland you see it, right? In Highland it's
Yeah.
like Highland First Party or whatever that was for a while.
Or
You see
St.
it
John.
in municipal.
St.
Yeah,
John.
you see like
That's where it was.
They're like independent types of parties,
Yep.
and they're like homeowners first or something like that,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So you'll see it in municipal elections. You'll see this kind of thing pop up.
Yeah, for a while, St. John, that third party actually was, I believe, in power.
I
in St.
actually
John.
think if I came out and said I'm a moderate now, I just can't really subscribe to any one of these parties. I actually think I'd be way more popular. Like I would have tons of Republican support because I already do. I'm a Democrat and I get tons of Republican support right now. If I said I'm a moderate, I would get those Republicans like Redstone. They'd be like, I'm supporting Tom because I'm not really home in my Republican Party either, right? And this guy's sort of like tapping a bit. There's Republicans that feel like me. I was golfing with one of them the other day. And the Republican was very frustrated with this party. He's like, I feel like I'm not even represented anymore. And I'm like, that's so funny. That people like you and me should get together and form another party because I feel the same way in the Democratic Party. It's like I'm out in the freaking shadows and I'm treated like shit because I'm cis male.
Okay, so just think about how many years. Just here's a different point of view. How many years that females were not included? that
Agreed.
Minorities. So like, what you're feeling is not new.
No, I agree
It's
with you,
just a
Joe.
difference
I'm not
then,
saying
you
it's
know?
right. I didn't make
Yeah.
the rules back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. I'm glad women are part of the game right now. I ran one myself, and I helped convince my wife to run, and she's an excellent elected official in the Democratic Party. She is. I'm glad. I'm glad that's changed. But I think our party is sometimes swings too far.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Republican Party had these struggles with the Tea Party and now with Trump,
right.
and how does George Bush feel? Does he feel like he's part of the
He feels
Republican
the same
Party?
way I feel right now, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't he?
that's what I'm saying. So like,
There's George Bush and
Dick Cheney and
Right.
Mitt Romney,
the whole Cheney
and,
family,
right?
Mitt Romney,
Yeah.
There you go. Those Republicans and Democrats like myself. I don't know if I can count you. I think you're more left than I am, Kevin. I know you're more left than I am, but like, there's a group of Democrats that feel similarly, right?
Kevin's
and
not showing
this two
any-
groups of people. I know because it's scary stuff we're talking about because people are going to be pissed that we're even talking about this.
I'm not.
Right?
I don't know what you're saying, John.
You weren't saying you weren't.
You're not
shaking
saying
your
I'm
head
listening.
Yes or
I'm
no.
just listening to this.
But
summary.
there's a group of Republicans that are disaffected. There's a group of Democrats that are disaffected. That group, those two groups, if you added them together, would be 50% of the population, dude. It'd be pretty damn close.
Maybe more.
It would be a force of reckoning. That moderate group that got together would be like, fuck you extremists on the right, fuck you extremists on the left. They would get shit done.
Yeah, I think the whole issue there is just getting it organized and getting momentum, because trying to tell people like you're going to give up your power by entering some third party is hard to do.
Well, Elon, remember that poll Elon
Yes,
just did?
80%.
Should we have a moderate party? 80% said
But
yes.
Elon leading
Maybe
the
Elon
moderate-
will be funding you. And you
Elon.
can be
Well,
part
if
of the,
Elon,
Come on.
we need somebody. Elon
that's what
is
you're right. I agree. If you're going to have
Like
a
a
third party, you need
Bloomberg.
Elon to be like.
I would
yeah.
rather have like Bloomberg
Sure,
or
I
somebody
agree.
like that, somebody mature.
And yes, yes, somebody that doesn't jump around on ketamine. Yes,
Right.
So
Allegedly.
yes, I'm sorry. You're right, John. Allegedly. Come in. It's got to be funded because that's the only way, right?
That's exactly
We
it.
know that money in politics. That's how it works.
Like if
So-
Elon came up to me and said, "Hey, Mayor, I want you to run for Congress as a moderate, and I'm going to give you $5 million." First off, $5 million to Elon is freaking less than a parking ticket, right? And then $5 million to a candidate running for Congress is like, suddenly everything's changed, right?
You couldn't do it
Suddenly I'm
individually.
well funded and I'm behind a new party, moderate, and I think people would buy into that.
Yeah, I mean, federal campaign laws would prohibit like a $5 million individual campaign donation, but you could do it through a super PAC.
Right.
You
So
lose your
Elon
soul
Musk,
too,
if
but
you're
I
listening, might have a what's that?
But that's how
mean,
it
you lose
happens.
your soul too.
Yeah.
That's how it happens, though. Then what you do if you're Elon Musk, you get a couple people like me throughout the country, and you get them into Congress, and they have an M behind their name instead of a D or an R. And they're like, what's this M? It's a moderate. And then there's people in America that are like, what? There's a moderate party?
Well, I mean, there's people
That's
that have
how it
an I
happens.
behind their name in Congress.
You're
Bernie
right.
Sanders.
You're
and
right.
There's another congressman.
You're right.
But
It doesn't really take off.
no.
I think it's on the verge. I really do.
Well, it depends how disaffected people are, either with both. It has to be disaffected with both parties. It can't be just like, oh, a bunch of Democrats are starting a new party. It's got to be like you said. It's got to be the disaffected from both parties.
Trust me, there's a lot of Republicans feeling this way too.
But
I just
is
was
it-
talking one the other day.
Is it the
Like
is
John
it
Vesmer.
independent
Yeah.
versus moderate? Is it the word that changes?
Yeah,
what I mean?
maybe.
Like,
I
Maybe
think
moderate makes
I would
it sound
rather
like more
be-
Democrat.
I would rather be moderate if there was a party than independent, because independent has a label of losing for decades, by the way.
Right,
We've had
right.
independents running for decades with the I behind their name, and they get their ass kicked.
Yeah.
So, like, I wouldn't want to put an I behind my name, because to me, that makes me vulnerable. Put an M and then explain it.
Interesting.
Think you got a better chance.
All right, well, let's do some ads. We're going to come back. We
got a mailbag.
We've got mailbag.
It's a shitty
coming
one,
back.
too.
Oh, it's
You
a
guys are
great
gonna
one.
love this one.
It's a good one.
It's a short one, and it's shitty. Short and shitty. You're going to love it.
Do some ads.
Okay, let's start off with Power in Indiana, Lake County, our premier and studio sponsor. Power in Indiana, Lake County is your source for the region's most trusted electricians. At Power in Indiana, Lake County, we set the standard for excellence in electrical work. As IBEW Local 697 electrical contractors, we ensure safety, reliability, and quality for Northwest Indiana corporations, businesses, and homes alike. But our mission goes beyond the job site. We're creating a brighter future for the region we proudly serve. Powering Indiana, Lake County, bringing excellence to the job, creating a brighter future for our community. Find the right electrical contractor at poweringindiana.org.
Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give Cantrell and Cantrell a call and schedule your consultation with someone who's in court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW or visit their website, bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife, Kristen, make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
The Bug Guys, Pest Control, firefighter-owned, pest-destroying professionals. We don't just fight fires, we fight bugs with bad attitudes. We bring justice to creepy crawlers. No contracts, no mercy, just bug-busting, home-protecting, creepy, crawling, crushing service serving all of Northwest Indiana. Call Brian or Craig today for your free estimate. That's a free estimate at 219-810-7481. The Bug Guys, making your house a no-fly zone since, well, now.
Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious taproom and an outdoor patio serving its award-winning craft beer, a chef-driven food menu, and craft cocktails on draft. Their brewing equipment and production facility offers a unique backdrop for events like bridal showers, reunions, or corporate parties. With their new food truck, they can cater to your corporate and private events off-site. Just off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Discover more at bywaybrewing.beer.
For decades, the Ron J. Prestomer Insurance Agency has been located right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. The Prestomer Agency specializes in a wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. The Prestomer Agency serves thousands of people and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you.
Thank you to our sponsors, including our studio sponsor, Power in Indiana, Lake County.
All right, we got a mailbag, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit of JB Pritzker, but don't forget our third segment. We got Matt Reardon
Coming up.
economic development guru, coming in, talk a little development and
Echo Dev.
politics and stuff like that. But
all kinds of exciting things. Data centers.
yeah,
Let's talk about data centers.
let's get the prompt for mailbag.
Mailbag.
Sounded dry.
Yeah,
Not as juicy as usual.
dry
John.
mailbag.
Jesus.
All right, so this is a postcard. So it's this nice, short but sweet. You know, I get postcards every once in a while in City Hall. This was a nice postcard of
An Elvis stamp. I mean, it looks friendly.
Seguro National Park. For those of you that aren't aware, Seguro National Park is in southwest Arizona. It's home to the king of all cacti, the Saguaro cacti. You know, if you didn't know, their roots can extend hundreds of feet in diameter, but only a couple inches deep. So this is all interesting stuff that I got on the postcard, and then the nice writing. Okay, so here it is. It's about Briar East Woods, by the way. Imagine a Briar East Woods National Park, ? Hammond does not need more concrete. We want clean air, a clean city, and more green spaces. P.S. Your podcast fucking sucks.
Like, kind of
Not
like
wrong.
came
Very
at our,
sweet.
came at
Very
us,
sweet.
came at
Very
the whole
sweet.
podcast crew.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah. Why you got to come at the whole crew?
And what do we do?
Maybe she's just talking about me. It says you're.
Oh, you're.
Oh, it's a
Right.
she?
Oh, we
I don't know.
I think it's a guy.
That's a guy. I agree. It looks like guys writing.
That's, guy handwriting.
It does look a little
Although-
bit like Kevin's writing.
Although, no, not at all. Actually, I thought it kind of looked like your writing or Marissa's.
It does.
It kind of looks like
little
Marissa's handwriting.
A
to
little
me.
bit. Yeah, her printing. Yeah,
Yes.
it does look a little Marissa.
And the Elvis stamp, I feel like, is something maybe more a woman would put on. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's got an Elvis
That's a weird stamp.
Yeah.
It is a weird stamp.
What a coward.
Yeah.
Put your
that?
name on it.
Yeah.
Put your name on it. Yeah.
Like this is
Be
like
a
the
bitch.
analog version of Twitter.
Yep.
Like you're a troll bitch. You know?
John's pissed about the podcast.
Well, John's pissed that he came after the
Yeah.
podcast. He's talking about his.
Fuck you,
he's like,
man.
you took out my producing.
It's just aren't you
It only
sick of
fucking sucks sometimes.
the Aren't you just sick of the cowards? You
Yeah.
little bitch. you
Yeah,
know?
I am sick of the
Tom whited out after your podcast said production, but we didn't want to get you
podcast
upset.
production. Yeah, That'd be funny. Producer.
Imagine
So-
sending a postcard made from trees to convince somebody to not cut down trees.
Yeah, right. Yeah. By the
Yeah.
way, right?
It's on recycled paper.
Did you throw that in the recycling bin?
Oh, yeah. I burned it.
Whose leg is that, by the way?
That was Christie's.
Oh,
I have no
I
idea.
won't say anything else.
Yeah, Christie's leg. So,
It's
all right.
just like-
Anyway, hey, JB Pritzker makes an announcement the other day. He's running for a third term.
Yeah, talk about a Democrat with money.
So that's next year,
Next year.
2026.
Yes.
There
yes.
you go. You need Pritzker to fund the model,
right. I mean,
Yeah.
Pritzker's a strong Democrat.
Yeah.
300.
Pritzker
listen,
would be a good guy to do it, John.
Yeah.
350 million in his own money in the last two elections.
Wow.
Yeah.
Of his last two gubernatorial elections, 350.
But you know how that just like filters through the whole party, and like, because like if he's spending 350 million up top, that helps the state reps
For sure.
running across the state.
Without
that
a
helps the
doubt.
state senators, the lowly county people that are running also on the. It's like a wind at your back that
Yep.
that is helpful.
You know,
we don't
like,
have
money
any
is
wind.
not a problem.
There's no wind like that in Indiana. It's like a desert
Hasn't had wind like that in a
with
while.
no wind.
No wind.
No wind
it's
at
a
all.
hot, dry. It's like basically the last 3 days in the region.
Yeah.
Like 100 stifling.
Segura cactuses.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Basically. Yes. Yes.
By the way, going back to that mailbag, there's a freaking park, a county park, 400 plus acres, less than a mile away from Briar East
less than a
Woods.
half mile away.
If there was a national park in the area, they would go to the county park 1,000 times out of 1,000 times.
Called
before
Gibson Woods.
Right. The Briar East Woods is something that's technically called a low-quality dune. Do you think they would pick a low-quality dune for a national park? No.
It took 60 years to get the Indiana Dunes to be a national park,
Right.
and those are high quality.
Those are
dunes.
high-quality dunes. So was Gibson Park. Gibson Park
Gibson
Woods.
Woods, yeah.
Gibson Woods, high-quality dunes. Briar East, low-quality dunes. Facts. Facts are important nowadays.
The thing about Pritzker, just going back real quick on this before we get off Governor Pritzker, is in Illinois, unlike Indiana, Illinois has no term limits for governor. So that's why he's running for his third
That's
term.
interesting.
Yep. I mean,
I
state
forgot
to
about that.
state, right?
I forgot about that. No, I mean, there's not very many places you could be a governor more than 2 terms.
Nope. So Illinois is one of them, and Pritzker's going to
But
run
usually,
again.
let's be fair, usually they don't have this problem because the governors always go to jail in Illinois. So, like,
They have a couple times.
they usually go to jail before the second term's up, so this is very unusual.
Yes, so the last couple have, I think, right? Governor Ryan, who's a Republican, Governor Blagojevich, who's a
forgot about
Democrat.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rauner didn't, though, and he was in between, right?
He
Right,
wants
Governor Rauner was
Yeah.
who
He
beat.
should have.
I don't think so. I
I'm
don't
just
think he did
messing.
anything bad.
But
So
Pritzker's reasoning is interesting. He's running for a third term to save us all from Trump or Illinoisians.
yeah, I mean, he said I ran.
Noisians.
I ran for governor in 2018 to change our story. I ran in governor in 2022 to keep telling our story, and I'm running for governor in 26 to protect our story. He said Donald Trump's made clear he'll stop at nothing to get his way, and I'm not about to stand by and let them tear down all we're trying to build in Illinois.
It's like FDR during World War II. He's like, I'll save you, America.
Yeah.
I'm staying. You need me.
yeah.
Right? That's what,
Biden.
yeah, it's like Biden. Yeah.
No one can.
Stay.
I'm the only one
Biden.
that could beat Trump.
Yeah, I'm the only one. This ancient 80-year-old that's senile is the only one that could beat Trump.
One of the guys
Fucking
that was
crazy.
thinking about
That's
running.
our DNC, baby.
Yeah.
One of the guys I was thinking about running was Rahm Emanuel, who I really think is a great Democrat. And Rahm was thinking about running statewide, and obviously
I don't think that
Pritzker
works.
saying
though.
running. He's
I
not
love
gonna
Rahm
run now.
Emanuel.
Yeah.
Who's a moderate, by the way.
I think Rahm running. I was hoping that Rahm was going to run for Durban Senate seat.
But like, I don't think that works, though, Kev. Because in Illinois, the thing about Illinois is Chicago is the heavy presence in the whole state. Whereas in Indiana, Indianapolis is not that heavy presence, unfortunately. It's a big presence in Indiana. But in Illinois, Chicago's big enough where it swings the entire state in the Democratic direction because it's a Democratic town, right? Yep. And unfortunately for Mayor Rahm, when he was mayor, he alienated that city and particularly the black community. So that's going to be a tough thing. In my
I don't think
opinion.
he's going to run for governor now, but I wish he would run for Senate. But I don't know.
But like that's the same problem, though.
Yeah,
if he runs for
he's
Senate,
got to win the primary.
Yeah,
so
he's got to win the
if
primary.
he wins the primary, he's fine.
If he wins the primary, he's fine.
Agreed.
But that's not an easy thing to do if Chicago is against you.
Yeah, I like Rahm.
I like Rahm a lot, man.
He's
Rahm
tough.
He
Tough
was
as
my guy.
nails.
Rahm and I actually had a relationship, and it was a good relationship. So, hey, Kevin, what is this I hear about Alligator Alcatraz?
So this is kind of funny. We've got. I'm going to introduce it, and then we.
TLC
No, it's just kind
show,
of,
right?
just kind of.
TLC show?
What's that?
The name,
TLC
John. I
show?
meant the name is kind of funny. Alligator Alcatraz, but somebody coined this down in Florida. Florida, you know, they're big on letting Christie know in her baseball cap and the president know that they're big on making sure that deportees are detained, and they're at the forefront of making sure that immigration is a big policy in Florida. And now they've taken it upon themselves. The state has to build what they're calling Alligator Alcatraz, which is an pretty much abandoned airfield in the middle of Miami-Dade County in the Everglades. And
Surrounded on all sides by the Everglades,
by
right?
swamps. Yeah,
The only way to get there is to fly there.
I think there are roads. 'cause
Unless
there's
you want to
trucks
swim
there,
with
but-
alligators.
Yes, there are roads and stuff, but probably tough to escape. That's why they're calling it Alligator Alcatraz, because around it is, you know, wildlife, gators, and things like that. And they're building these like long, weird trailers and a lot of bathrooms apparently too that are going to house up to 5,000 deportees or detainees rather. There are 56,000 around the country right now that are awaiting their fate, and they're going to put this one. I think this is like a little bit of a look what we can do down here in Florida. The Attorney General in Florida did this. So, John, you want to play the clip? It's about a minute and a half.
Calling Alligator Alcatraz. Starting next month, 5,000 migrants will be housed in trailers and heavy-duty tents at this remote abandoned airfield.
As I call it, Alligator Alcatraz.
In a promotional video set to music, Florida's Attorney General lays out what he considers a deterrent for any potential escapees.
People get out, there's not much waiting for them other than alligators and pythons.
But some local officials warn the environmental impact could be devastating.
We have environmental and fiscal stewardship and safety concerns.
The Trump administration has said it wants to get up to 100,000 beds at detention centers across the country to facilitate mass deportations.
A lot of bad people were let into our country. We're getting them out, and we're getting them out fast.
The Department of Homeland Security says the new facility will cost about $450 million a year and will be reimbursed in large part by a FEMA program previously used to shelter migrants in places like this hotel in New York City. Do you think that this is a good idea for your home state?
Well, I 100% support the president's deportation efforts. It's the president's priority to get those individuals out of our country.
But immigrant advocates argue the money has not been set aside by Congress, and
the biggest concern is the grave inhumanity that seems to be at stake in terms of sending people to incredibly inhumane, brutal conditions.
An administration.
There you go. Alligator Alcatraz. Go visit.
What are your thoughts, Joe?
It's going to be so humid down there.
Oh, my God.
Ugh.
The cost, $450 million?
But, like, how much are they spending currently, Kevin? I
sure
mean, it's not
as
it's
much
not,
as that.
If you're going to house 5,000 migrants someplace and you're going to build something, how much is that going to cost?
It's going to cost a ton of money.
Right. I mean, to me, that seems like, I don't know. I'm not going to say it. If you're going to put violent people or people anywhere, I don't know. Are we talking violent?
No.
Immigrants? It's just
detainees,
regular?
yeah.
Oh, kids and all that?
I don't know if it's kids.
That's what I'm saying, Tom.
No,
It's
it's
like,
not kids.
Yeah.
This
like,
is
like a prison type of situation.
Yes.
I would be open to that. Like if it was like violent criminals.
Not them. No, there's only been like
Right.
1,000 of those arrested.
No, I'm talking violent criminals in general.
Oh.
That's not like an Alcatraz type of prison situation.
This is like a temporary camp.
I agree. That's
Yeah,
dumb.
It's crazy. But
Yeah.
whatever. It's a lot of money. But
Save
Florida's
Alligator
going to get
Alcatraz.
it. Alligator
Right.
Alcatraz. I wonder
Save
what
it.
visiting hours are.
All
right, listen, we're gonna
do they have
tunes there?
We're gonna do ads because we've got Matt Reardon waiting.
Yeah.
And why don't you lead off, Tom? We're gonna come back. Stay tuned for Matt Reardon. We got a lot of economic development guru stuff to talk about.
Always an interesting guest. So let's start off with Calumet Brewing. Michelob Ultra, the official sponsor of the PGA, is a superior light beer with the ultra smooth taste. This refreshingly crisp light lager has only 95 calories and 2.6 carbs, making it the perfect beer on the golf course or at the 19th hole. Check out the new Ultra Zero with only 29 calories, making it the perfect zero alcohol beer for any time of the day. Head over to the Cal Brew or Michelob Ultra websites and social media pages for more info on this great family of beers. Enjoy the Michelob Ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly.
Kuklakis Law. Are you facing legal challenges and don't know where to go? Look no further than Kuklakis Law, your trusted source for legal advice in Indiana and Illinois. Do you need representation buying or selling real estate? Call Kuklakis Law. Need help forming your business? Call Kuklakis Law. Did you get injured in a car crash or at your job? Call Kuklakis Law. No matter what your legal issue, call 219-671-6347 for a free consultation. Who are you going to call? Kuklakis Law. Hablamos Español.
MCR Partners is your one-stop destination for top-notch expertise and economic development.
Wow, you're reading the ad and
planning.
he just walked in.
He just materialized. With a dedicated team geared up to tackle your projects head-on, they're your go-to comprehensive solution providers. Dive into the world of economic development with MCR Partners and let them guide you through the maze of opportunities. Stay in the loop and connected by hitting up their website at mcrpartnersllc.com. For tailored assistance, don't hesitate to reach out to Matt Reardon at 219-741-9511.
You don't even have to call him. He's just here if you have an economic development question.
It's like a bat signal.
Yes.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store. Or is it Carcenita, or how do you pronounce that?
Oh, Supermercado?
Bodega.
Supermercado.
But it was
Bodega.
Carnecita. What isn't? Don't they call
Did
it?
you say bodega?
Yes.
I think that's what he
we
said,
are talking about
I'm
New
gonna
York.
stop
So.
experimenting with the Spanish language right now. With your popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Whoa, caught it. Misprint Printing. All those metal business cards. Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana with a 30-year legacy of excellence. Their experienced team, led by Rick Waltensberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing and metal business cards, always on time within budget. Conveniently located in Munster and Hammond, Misprint is your partner for creating impactful visual solutions that leave a lasting impression. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today. I saw Rick wrapping a car the other day. So
Nice.
With it printing.
Really?
You know, like wrapping it.
I got to
like
call
in
him,
advertising.
actually.
Oh, you going to wrap a car?
Well, no. He does also, one of the things they do at Misprint is the, like for the signs out in front of buildings.
Yeah.
The slide things you put in.
Yes.
Yeah, he does those.
Yes.
I forgot what they call them. But
Yeah.
I have to do that because one of my tenants moved out.
Uh-oh.
I'm pulling his damn slide out
Good
today.
idea.
Oh, no.
Sorry, Johnny Law.
Oh, Cantrell & Cantrell, one of our sponsors.
Moving down the street.
All right.
I'll give him his slide.
Moved it down the street.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Is he officially out?
Yeah.
I don't have the keys yet.
Oh, maybe he's not officially out then.
All right.
June 30.
All right. Yeah.
Your Tom's going to be there like midnight,
Yeah,
July
like,
1.
dude,
Change
where's
the
my
locks.
where's my goddamn keys?
Where are my keys,
Get out.
man?
What's up, Matt?
Get
It's
Reardon?
like a
out.
breakup.
Welcome.
Much, man.
I like
In the
your
house.
shirt.
Thanks, man.
You got the Donald Ross shirt going. I have a
the-
shirt
With the
just
Bill
like
Murray.
the Bill Murray.
that. Yeah, but it's got the patch.
Yes.
The French lick patch.
Sweated it out in French lick.
That
Those,
can be a hot course.
Oh,
dude.
super
That
hot.
is every time I've golfed in that course, it's 100 plus.
Sick. It's not fun.
never-
It's 100 plus. I
never
mean, it's the
temperate.
most the thickest humidity. Like your ball is affected mid-flight.
You're gonna
by the
say your
thick-
Your balls are also
both your
affected.
balls are also affected. Jill's like,
So that's why I'm here
Add that to
today
the
to
title
promote a
list.
new
You
type
like
of
that?
underwear.
I feel like it.
Yeah.
It's called Cool Balls.
you
And,
listen to the 4-H.
We
show,
had-
right? See, at least you were selling cool balls,
That's
right?
right.
4-H
4-H
selling
like-
like underwear for women. Like what
No,
the fuck?
no.
Or lack thereof.
right.
Like a cap or
The
something.
invisible panty.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're
That was
listening to
Empty
that show.
plastic bag.
4-H pitching it.
I wonder how much we could sell.
What did they call it again?
Zero.
What's that?
Fem
No,
something.
he said, I wonder how much you're going to sell. 0.
Yeah, right. The cool balls.
No,
No.
that's not true.
No.
Cool balls.
People
Get that
want
on
those.
some
cool-
golf.
Dude, I think we
roll
just came up with something.
on the
Hey,
internet.
you could pitch that at Swingers. It fits right in.
That's
There you
true.
go.
Cool
too.
balls. Yeah, we sell cool balls
Come on,
underwear.
we'll get you a booth, Matt.
Perfect.
I love this idea.
It's great.
It's like
It's great.
let's make underwear, and we'll just call it cool balls. We have to trademark it first. So
People-
the underwear could be junk, but it's got a badass
No, remember
name.
you bought some Chinese underwear that didn't
That's
work
what I
too
was
well,
thinking of.
right? Those green
Just-
ones in the
I
old
have to-
studio.
Like we got a slogan already.
And-
People like hot nuts, but not on the golf course.
This is really
There's
coming
just
together
holes.
fast.
It's like
Quick.
It's like Akon
See how
sweatshirt. There's just holes in it all over the place.
See why he's the
Still don't
economic
get that.
development guru? He comes up with things like that.
cool balls.
Yes.
With
I'm
a
going to
Z.
see if that's a.
Yes, absolutely with the Z.
Hold on, let me see if that's a.
Got to
website.
be with a Z.
Yeah.
Somebody
Everything
owns
on
that
LOCPod
already.
when you say balls is with a Z.
Oh, it is a website.
Ah.
But wait,
Two
with the
Z's.
Z? Hold
Two
on.
Z's.
How about K?
Let me try it.
Oh, okay. Balls.
Coolballs.com.
Under-
Looks
Is
like
that underwear?
it could be available.
Is it
Whoa.
fucking underwear?
No, you could
No.
probably buy it.
Oh, that's the website.
Buy it right now.
Perfect.
Let's go.
Steve
Don't
Kellogg.
buy our. We are going to be on the show for another 20 minutes. Don't
Yep.
buy it in the meantime. You know,
Steve Kellogg.
All the
Lockpod.
haters.
Lock
One of our
Steve in the website.
Steve, let's go.
yeah. Would you tune into our show, LOCPod? Yeah. What's the website? Coolballs.com.
.com.
Why is it Cool Balls? It's a great name. You have to admit.
Why not?
Matt Reardon came up with
Who
it.
doesn't like it?
So Matt,
come on
tell
now.
us.
Economic development guru. You just gave us an idea
There
within
you
5
go.
minutes of
In
being
the
in the
first
studio.
three
That's why you
minutes.
call me up.
I know.
I just here's another
Would you
great idea.
work your magic on our data center and just make this thing happen in 5 minutes?
I wish I could.
Coolballs.com will be housed there in the data center.
Yep, you better have cool balls
I ask you,
inside of the data
can I ask you a question about data centers?
Sure.
So, like, up here in northwest corner of the state, especially in
Chicago.
Hammond, right? We don't seem to have any problem putting a gabillion, quadrillion, whatever, billion-dollar data center in our city. Yet, you go over like to fancy places like Burns Harbor and Chesterton and like
Valparaiso.
Valpo, and like it's like they're bringing a pig farm in. So
Right.
can you tell me why there's so much pushback? Why
a
is
good
there
question.
pushback against data centers? And I know you know a lot about them.
First and foremost, like a lot of other or anything on the internet, there's just shitty information about it. And the irony is not lost on me that all these people on the internet are using data centers to put shit about anti-data centers on the internet. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't you start sending postcards like you got for the shitty LOCPod
Yeah, right,
show,
right.
There's some of that, and like a lot of emerging industry, there's a learning curve that has gone on in the data world. And I don't purport to be an expert on that, and I'm not a...
But are they like are they polluters? Are they like,
here's the thing. They don't have smokestacks, and we're familiar with those here. And
Yes.
we, to an extent, embrace that, and that's what built the region. And they're still up on the lakefront. And Japanese invested in U.S. Steel, so that's not going away anytime soon. So we have this,
right?
And having had direct experience in data centers, I felt the best practice for somebody like me is to bring clients to the city. And I've done that numerous times, Mayor, where elected officials from other places, they're like, well, what, and they're going through and they're reading and they're getting contacted by their constituents talking about, I don't need this, we don't want it, it does this, it does that. So I just would bring them to North Hammond.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're like, where is this place? And I'm like, well, you got to drive past a marina.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's sandwiched in between two marinas, and there's a casino, and, there's a neighborhood over there.
And a lake.
And the lake,
Big
Lake
lake.
Michigan, right? And I said, so as far as environmentally sensitive areas, being next to Lake Michigan probably should rank up there fairly high. We drink that water, and it serves as a part of our industry and so on. And they come up to this data center, and they're looking at it, and I don't know what they're expecting, but it's not that. And they get in there, and they're like, well, what's in here?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, that stuff. And they're like, well, how much water you use? And they're while, as you know, when we were negotiating that project, the initial
Right.
one in Hammond, there was a permit that came with procurement of that site. Right, we could get 4 million gallons a day, and I don't know how much you guys sell in the city, but it's probably
70.
Okay, 70 million a day you sell.
Today. Days like today.
Right, 70 million. So we could take 4 million a day, every day out of there. We do not. We buy water from the city of Hammond because we flush toilets.
Because you guys don't use water to cool the computers.
Not in that
anymore.
Right.
Not in that context, and not in that.
Right.
The technology emerged that it was better to do it a different way. So that removes one of the big things that you've heard that people have talked about and read. You know, they are going to drink the aquifer dry. Well,
you know what's crazy, Matt, is Marissa is lately, she's like digging on data centers, and she's sort of freaked out about it. And I'm not talking out of turn. She sent me an article this morning because she's like, you guys sure about this, Tom? And I'm like, Marissa, like everything that, because it's a power thing is really what I think Marissa's mostly
sure. I think
about.
that would be the
She's
one
like, are
concern,
we going to go
right?
out? You're going to bring in this mega data center, our light's going to go out. And I was asked the same question by Councilman Mark Kowinski on the city council.
I was there at the meeting.
Right. So like the fact is, Matt, could you, like what is, like right now our big data center proposal in Hammond's billions of dollars. They say
billions of dollars. Let's stop for a minute.
It's worth twice as much as the city of Hammond, this project.
And it'll be the biggest electric user in NIPSCO's territory.
Right. And it'll employ thousands of building trades.
Yeah, during the construction.
Probably have somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 to $600 million in wages paid. So wrap your head around that.
Yeah.
How many industries in NWI pay over a 10-year period anywhere near or close to that amount of money to people working? The answer is none of them.
So we got this thing set up, basically. The city's on board. Our tenants are on board. The development group's on board.
Yes.
Everybody's on board outside of the state of Indiana. That comes last. And NIPSCO, right?
Correct.
Right.
So
and NIPSCO has to buy this power because, Kevin, as you indicated, this is going to be the biggest customer in NIPSCO's portfolio. If
Bigger than U.S. Steel.
Right.
Wow.
So NIPSCO is in the process right now, Matt, right, of buying power on the open market so that they can bring it to the region.
Which they do anyway.
Right. Like on a hot day.
So
if we don't have enough capacity locally to satisfy our needs, we buy power from like ComEd.
Correct.
Pull it across the state line and keep our lights on.
It's almost like trying to explain what goes on at the Chicago Board of Trade to somebody who doesn't know what's going on.
Or how water flows.
Like, well,
there you go.
I think everybody should know it goes downhill, but I hope. But so power companies buy power. Some of them generate power. NIPSCO is not heavily into the generation category. They're more in the transportation, transmission, and gas. So they procure power from other people. And it's not like it's a guess. They know the loads. They know what they have to buy. They know who the customers are.
They know what their customers use.
They certainly avail themselves to weather trends, and they know it's hot in the summer, so we use more, so we have to buy more. And that's the process. But that's a legit question. What happens? So I don't know how. Well, let me put it in a different way. If the city of Hammond, would you just decide that we're just going to turn off the water to the residents because a business was?
Nope.
No, you wouldn't, would you? Right. Okay. That's pretty much what's going to happen here. You have a contract. You serve customers. And, if you want to talk about like the global bullshit, like, hey, I'm against power. All right, man, I'll give you that. Right. I don't want power.
We should be more green. We should go to wind,
whatever,
solar.
all that shit. I don't care about
But
that.
Matt, though, NIPSCO's in the process of buying wind and solar and bringing that energy. That's
correct.
So the group that you represent, that you're part of,
yes,
that group had to come up with $25 million and give it to NIPSCO up front, right?
30
up front.
Ish. Yeah.
With no guarantees, no contracts. It's just like, this is to buy power on the open market. Correct?
This is for this facility to procure the power we need to spend $2 billion, So this is the process of getting it set up to be able to provide the type of power to run these operations.
If you're
NIPSCO, you were the electric squid, so you were
NIPSCO.
involved. You were involved with that, and
substations,
and on your boat. So you understand some of those concepts.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're NIPSCO, I think, just trying to look in their brains for a minute. If you're going to have allegedly your biggest customer coming in, but it's not under construction yet, it's not going, you're going to want to make sure like it's all in the come, right?
Yes.
So you're like, okay, I'm not going to buy all that.
Right.
And you've got like 6 data centers like saying like, we're coming,
Could
we're
I make an
coming, we're
example,
coming,
Kevin?
we're coming.
Chesterton. Let's say NIPSCO, like Chesterton's was totally up in the air. It was a
Right.
proposal,
Right.
but they needed NIPSCO's power just like our data center does,
Right.
right? But in Chesterton, it was never going to be approved. The government wasn't necessarily into it. The neighbors certainly weren't
No, they
into
were
it.
not.
So why would NIPSCO give up their precious megawatts to a project that's
Or go out in the open market and buy them.
right? You wouldn't,
Right.
not
So
you
I
doing-
go to a
they're-
group like Matt's that has $30 million to give to you up front.
They're not doing that. So they need to protect their shareholders.
For sure.
They need to protect the customers.
Mm-hmm.
So if they start, well, this would be a problem. If they start spending $100 million on, I think this is going to be a data
Exactly.
center,
Right.
that's a problem.
Yep.
So
Totally.
that's why the vetting process goes on. And, NIPSCO is, while I would really like them to work faster, I understand their due diligence level.
How confident are you that this deal's going to get done?
I'm very confident
That's good.
because of
Thank you.
location and
I'm-
and support. And I mean, I'm not here to blow smoke up your ass. I'm around this state, and
Feel
I'm
free.
over on the other side
Please,
to
please,
to
blow
do it.
smoke.
Look at these guys. Give us more.
Give me some smoke.
I'm hurt after that postcard I got.
Make us feel
So
good.
look,
Podcast fucking sucks.
nobody is going to fight you to spend $2 billion. No fucking buddy. They're just going to go, okay, well, that's cool. We'll do it somewhere else. And that's it.
You know what
And-
I'm confident about, Matt? I'm confident because the governor's on our team on this, and I'm not used to saying that out loud. I'm not used to saying the governor and I are pushing, and I think that
Sure.
means a lot. I was talking to a gentleman from the IEDC last night about our project,
Good.
and he was like, "We're totally all in, Mayor.
There's-
We're on the same team on this one,
Yep, and that's a good thing. When you have overlapping support,
bipartisan too.
bipartisan support.
Yeah, for a
Because
huge
they-
economic
Right.
development project.
Like,
It's great for the governor, just like it's great for the city of Hammond, just like
Right.
it's great for you all.
So, think back years ago when we started this process with Dockage, and he got it going and doing all this stuff in the quantum corridor. And, there were a handful of people that were on board, and it took a while to get you on board. You're like, what is this bullshit?
I was
and we're
trying
like,
to figure out
here,
what the hell-
man, this
Why
is
is it good
kind
for
of
the
what it
city?
is.
Well,
why is this
'cause
good?
The first one was like we knew once it was built that there was going to be very little. It's a hotel of computers.
and Dockage
basically.
always called it a proof of concept.
Which
Which always call it
which
it
it
ended up
was,
being.
It is, and now look what's happened.
But like,
So
what megawatt wise, what is that one compared
100,
to
it's 180 megawatt. Oh, the
current
initial
one that's there.
18.
18, and the next one is 10 times
100,
bigger.
180 megawatts.
Wow.
It's a 450,000 plus or minus square foot structure that will house a
A lot of things.
billion plus dollars of investment in technology inside the building, and the facility itself is about 1.9 billion. So
Dude, the city of Hammond, Matt, is worth $3.3 billion.
the AV of the city is 3.
It's going to
We're
be in that
like-
one building.
This is one project we're working on. Ultimately, that could be worth twice as much as the entire city.
Correct. So once we're done with the campus, because there's room for another location out there, so we maximize. The
Let's go.
footprint. Yeah, well, let's get. You know what? I'm waiting.
Let's go, Disco!
Let's
NIPSCO's
go.
going to want another $30
But,
million.
Here's a couple things. I mean, it's benign in terms of manufacturing operations, and I say that only because I've seen and been involved in facilitating investment in manufacturing. They have smokestacks. They need air permits. They need water permits sometimes. There's trucks. There's traffic.
Don't need
People
that.
get
Don't worry about
mad.
that here, though.
None of that is part of this.
Yeah.
They have generators. They have to start them. Yeah, but to make sure they work, just like people should at home.
Can I ask you one? I know we're getting tight on time, but I want to ask you a quick question here because I want to hear this, and I was curious about it. After this new Senate, this bill, we call it Senate Bill 1, right? The impact to local communities. Are you seeing a shift or hesitancy for economic development projects around the state or in places that you work? I mean, is it like, oh my gosh, we got to find out about the impact of this?
Yes.
We got to wait, so we're waiting.
Well, there's we have to find out the impact, but for any business spending over $2 million on personal property, it's good news because you're going to end up not owing any tax on that personal property. And I don't want to bore people to shit. They're like, what is he talking
I
about?
meant localities or like our cities or towns.
Oh, man,
holding back.
you guys are 20. Listen to me, everybody out there, red, blue, whatever. Your budget's going down 20% if you do nothing. So start with that and figure out a way around it. Now, in context of why the fuck this makes any sense to embrace this kind of industry, as I said, it's fairly benign. They don't want people buy it. There is no truck impact. Yeah, they use electricity. No shit. We don't live in tents anymore, right?
Well, the funny thing is, everybody that's opposed to this, it's got a freaking cell phone in their back pocket. They got an Apple Watch on their arm.
Hold on a minute.
Wait a minute. But you're against the data center?
Right. I know. It's like part of the reason we need the data.
Great point.
Driving a Tesla that's on. They're like, when is my car going to drive itself? You know.
Wait a second. I got to go to my nail salon. Hold on a minute. I got to go. So, all that shit that comes in there. I mean, there was a post today from the city of Hobart and anti this, and I don't know if anybody follows me on social media, but I just can't stop.
How do we do that?
People.
I follow you.
Oh my God!
Are you still echoed? Are you still?
No, I'm just on Facebook. I just like people.
So follow Matt Reardon on Facebook.
Oh my God! I don't need any more of that.
Hey Matt, I did a ChatGPT resume for you.
Yeah,
I want to see if it's accurate.
Okay,
great.
Because it's been airing a lot lately. Okay, all right. Core competencies: dynamic and collaborative economic development leader with 20+ years of experience.
True.
Driving transformative public-private partnerships, revitalizing communities, and delivering measurable economic development outcomes across Northwest Indiana.
I'd say that's okay.
Wow.
Proven track record. All right. Core competencies: economic development strategy, redevelopment project management, public-private partnerships, workforce and talent pipeline development, community revitalization, intergovernmental relations. This is all good stuff. TIF incentives and grant management.
True.
Dude, this is so... I was like, do me a favor. Do a resume for Matt Reardon like he was looking for a job. Professional experience. LaPorte County Office of
Better than
Economic...
my resume.
LaPorte County Office of Economic
Who is this
Development.
guy?
21 to the present, right?
Yeah.
And then Town of Highland, it says Chairman Economic Development Commission, 2006 to the present.
True. No, I'm not anymore. I'm off that. Close, though.
Northwest Indiana
bad.
Forum, regional engagement, various roles, 2008, 2021.
Yes.
No shit.
Yep.
Frequent guest on
learning.
WIMS Radio, Lakeshore Public Media, and regional podcasts. Regional podcast. There we are.
Medium quality entertainment.
Our sucky podcast.
All right, big stuff. Bachelor of Arts, IU Bloomington, right?
No, no. Bachelor
of Science, Public Affairs, Urban Planning,
No.
IU Bloomington, it says.
No, that's wrong. Loris College, Dubuque, Iowa, Master's in Business Administration from University of Illinois, Chicago.
About you.
They were like, he's from Indiana. They all go there.
We'll take a guess.
Man, I'm sorry. By the way, the last time you were in the studio, I wasn't here. I wanted to apologize. That was a great show, too. It just popped up for some reason. I was watching. It must have been something John did. John,
Matt was in as a host, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but John, you just recently dropped a video with Matt on like a clip, right?
No.
Really? I must have caught an old one
bitching
then.
about?
No, it was the last time you were in here.
Toll
I was
roads?
gone that day.
It was something about Trump.
Yeah,
it was something about Trump when you were
But
in.
I was.
Narrow it down.
Yeah, right. I think Trump
it
is
might
pretty
be right
much
for the
every
election,
show.
maybe.
Every
I
show,
could do a
right?
show
Yeah.
live every day about
Let's
that
go.
guy.
Let's go.
Well, I appreciate you coming in.
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah.
So this was just this morning. I don't know if you heard about this, Matt, but Tom, you said you're on the governor's on your side with this one. And I think Trump is too. So this just came out. Trump admin prepares executive orders to ramp up power supplies for the artificial intelligence industry.
Nice.
Because China is currently outpacing the U.S.
Agreed.
by a significant margin in electricity
Nuclear
generation.
energy. We need nuclear energy.
Isn't that the CHIPS Act that your former opponent came up with that Trump was pissed about?
Bipartisan.
Yeah, bipartisan, and he was like, that guy sucks, and I don't like it. Now he's like, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to build power plants. Good.
Hey, Matt, I was talking before you came in here. I'm sure you were listening on the way in, talking about how frustrated I am as a Democrat. Now I feel like I'm part of a group that could easily branch off and form another party. And I was talking to a well-known Republican in the region yesterday that also feels similarly about his party. Do you agree with that sentiment? Because I think you feel similarly as well.
I do, too. I'm very logical when it comes to getting to a solution. So it doesn't have to be an extreme solution. And these guys now, and gals, seem to rush to the extreme instead of just focusing on the problem. Like, we don't want people to get killed and raped, right? That's
Sure.
Everybody can
universal.
agree to that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I think it's bipartisan.
So that's good. Okay. So let's go from there. It's not a good look when people not from the country kill and rape people. Okay, we can.
Right.
Okay, it just looks worse, but
Yes.
it's still
Agreed.
people
They
get
shouldn't.
bad. Okay.
Right.
So we're all in agreement. So are we all in agreement that those people should be sought out and locked up? I
Yes.
think
I think
everybody's
most
in
people-
agreement.
I think most
Okay,
people-
good. So why the fuck are we arresting people in front of
there you go.
workplaces
Or chasing them
and
through
schools
fields.
Or in the
and-
kitchen.
Chasing them
Did you see
in the
that?
farm
We're chasing
fields.
that dude through the farm field.
Yes.
That guy should have just kept fucking running laughing
Yeah.
until his cops got tired.
They'd have worn out.
This keeps going. But, I mean, it is ridiculous. Solve the problem.
Yeah.
Save the rhetoric.
Yes, sir.
You know?
But
Period.
Got to get votes, though. Gotta get the red
well,
meat.
the populist bullshit it cuts both ways. Populist bullshit, Trump wins. Populist bullshit, the dude from New York wins. So the right is like, this guy's a communist, and I'm like, I'm listening to what he's proposing. I'm like, first of all, dude, you're not giving away free transportation.
No, never
There's
gonna
not
happen,
enough
right?
money that
Nope,
you could
nope.
ever come up
Let's
with.
do Ubers for free too.
Yeah, sure. Well, let's
why
try
not?
that out. Well,
Yeah.
of course that shit isn't going to work, but it gets you across the finish line.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Thanks for coming in, bud.
Yeah, sure,
It's good to
man.
see you
Let's
again.
get that data center
Appreciate
shit
it.
wrapped
Nips
up.
go. Let's
Hopefully,
go, Nips go.
Let's go, Nips
go. I'll buy a couple $100 worth of your stock. You do this, Nips go. I promise.
let's go.
I'm already a shareholder.
You'll see a bump. So, thanks,
That
Kevin.
was a joke.
That was a joke.
For legal reasons. That was
Well, it's public. It's public. And
Publicly traded.
Suck.
Yeah. Jill, thank you very much. Appreciate
Thanks,
you.
Jill.
Thanks, Jay
What's your
Vaz.
football hat?
Dartmouth.
Softball. Nice.
Jay Vaz, appreciate it. Another
Big
flawless
green.
episode. Matt, thank you very much.
John, nice
By
job.
the way,
Thanks.
Matt has been a sponsor on LOCPod for almost every season, if not every season. I appreciate you very much, Matt.
I like hearing local region shit and sprinkling in the national discussion. It's good to listen to.
Thank you.
Because people are, I hate CNN and I hate this and I hate that. Well, how about I got a fucking idea for you? Why don't you contribute to things like LOCPod?
You're sweet.
To help get different guests, more guests. I mean, what do you think these guys
We're gonna clip
What
that.
do you fucking think these guys are flying people in here to come and talk on this?
That's
Fuck
right.
no, they're not. But what do you think other podcasts do? They do the same shit.
It's hard
So
to
if
cover
we-
our salary on our own.
it's a bitch. Look, I get it. If you want more of this, then be a sponsor.
Appreciate it.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
clipping that.
Awesome.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate
All right,
it.
bro.
Love
Kevin,
it.
thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Stay cool.
Appreciate you all. Thanks again, Economic Development Guru. Thanks for everybody for listening. Season 15, episode 18 in the books. We're out. Take care, everybody. LOCPods. See you Tuesday.